Welcome back, all of you. So, in the previous lecture, we've seen the comparison between a wired and a wireless communication system model, and the major difference between the two is that the performance in case of wireless is much poorer as compared to the performance of a wired system. Now, we have analytically seen the reason why this difference in performance is there, right? We've also seen that the transmit power required for a wireless channel is much larger as compared to the transmit power required by a wired system model for the same bit error rate floor, right? So let us analyze why such poor performance of wireless system model is there. Okay, this can be easily explained with the help of deep fade analysis. Okay, because we know that in case of wireless system models there are a number of deep fade events. There are deep fade events in wireless system model. Okay, by deep fade means a drastic decrease in the power of the fading wireless channel. Deep fade denotes a drastic decrease in the power of fading wireless channel. So whenever there is a drastic decrease in the power of the fading channel, that leads to a deep fade condition, right? So we have seen that we've seen already that this wired system model is y is equal to hx plus n, all right, and the signal power is nothing but signal power is equivalent to modulus of h square into p, where p is the symbol power, right? So during deep fade, this h square and this is also equivalent to a square into p, right? This power of the channel is very less. Okay, there's a drastic decrease in the power of this fading channel, right? That leads to deep fade conditions. Okay, so we can say that the wireless channel is in a deep fade if the received signal power is even lower than the noise power. Okay, the wireless, as simple as it is a very simple concept, the wireless channel is in a deep fade if the received signal level is lower than the noise power. So we know signal to noise ratio SNR is a square p by sigma square. So if the sigma square dominates over a square p, then we can say that the signal will be highly distorted and the channel is in the deep fade condition. Alright, so using the same logic, we'll derive the deep fade analysis and the probability of deep fade. Okay, so the received signal power less than noise power at receiver, if this condition persists, it will lead to deep fade. Let us analyze this logic condition mathematically. So the received signal power is what? A square into p if it is less than sigma square, right? So this is equivalent to a square less than sigma square by p. The sigma square by p is equal to 1 upon SNR, because SNR is p by sigma square, and this leads to the condition a square less than 1 upon square root of SNR. So this is the condition for deep fade. Sorry, a is less than, this is the condition for deep fade, right? And the probability of deep fade will be the probability of this event. Okay, so the probability of deep fade in a wireless channel this probability of deep fade is equal to probability that A is less than 1 upon square root of SNR. Right? Let us find out this probability. So this will be equivalent to this A. We know the distribution of A, so we can easily find out this probability. This A is Rayleigh faded. The amplitude of the fading coefficient is Rayleigh faded if it is a Rayleigh faded channel, right? So this probability would be integral of the PDF of A over the range 0 to 1 upon square root of SNR. Right, as simple as that. Substitute the value of PDF over here, 0 to 1 upon square root of SNR, and the PDF is twice of A, e raised to power minus A squared d of A. Right. Simplify this integral, it's very simple. So it is minus e raised to power minus A square, the range would be 0 to 1 upon square root of SNR, and this is equivalent to 1 minus e raised to power minus 1 upon SNR. Now further, using the approximation that e raised to power minus x can be approximated as 1 minus x for x approximately equal to 0. Using this condition in this expression, the probability of deep fade can be simplified as 1 minus 1 upon SNR, and which is nothing but equal to 1 upon SNR. So the probability of deep fade is approximately equal to 1 upon SNR. Okay, we know now we have this expression with us. Let's say this is equation A, and we know that the approximate value of a wire probability of error, in the previous lecture we have seen that the bit error rate, the approximate value is equal to 1 upon twice of SNR, isn't it? Let's say this is a B expression. This we have already seen in the previous lecture, and this is the probability of deep fade, 1 upon SNR. So can we say that the bit error rate, this approximate bit error rate for wireless, this for a wireless channel, is proportional to probability of deep fade? We can easily derive from the expressions A and B that these two are proportional to each other, right? That is, the bit error rate of wireless, BER of wireless channel, is proportional to the probability of deep fade. Now it is quite clear that why the performance of the wireless channel is so poor, because it heavily depends on the deep fade events. The probability of deep fade is directly proportional to the bit error rate of the wireless channel. And by deep fade, we know that deep fade is the condition where the signal power falls drastically, and it falls even lower than the noise power. So the poor bit error rate performance of the wireless signal arises from the deep fade event. That is the takeaway. The poor BER of a wireless channel arises from deep fade. Alright. So till now we have seen the analysis of a wireless channel, a single link wireless channel, that we have a transmitter and a receiver, both having single antennas. We have seen the analysis of such a wireless system, okay, and we have clearly seen that the performance is really poor because of the deep fade events. Okay, now next let us move a bit further, building upon this performance of a single link wireless channel, and we have seen that the deep fade event affects the performance of the system drastically. Now let us find out a way to overcome this problem of deep fade and come up with a system model or the communication system model so that the performance improves and the probability of deep fade can be reduced in the wireless channel. Alright. So next type of system model that we're going to study is multi-antenna wireless channels or wireless system model. Multi-antenna wireless system model that will lead to diversity, which is the key principle to overcome the effects of deep fade in a fading wireless channel. This multi-antenna system will lead to diversity, and this diversity it is a, you can say, key principle to overcome the effects of deep fade in a fading wireless channel. Let us look at the logic behind this, how multi-antenna system leads to diversity, and that is the key principle to overcome the effect of deep fade. Okay, consider a typical single link wireless system. We have a transmitter, we have a receiver, and there's a single wireless link. This is a wireless link between the transmitter and receiver. Okay, now if we have a situation such that this single link, there is a single antenna, transmitter and receiver leading to a single link between the transmitter and receiver. Now comes the situation when the single link is in the deep fade. Okay, now comes the situation that the single link is in the deep fade. Okay, and there is no alternate link between the transmitter and the receiver. Okay, so this will completely disrupt the communication. So completely disrupts the communication. So this deep fade will completely disrupts the communication, and since there is no alternate link between transmitter and receiver, so the link goes in the outage. Now let us take another system. We have the same transmitter and the same receiver, but we have multiple antennas in between these two. There are multiple links. Okay, there can be n number of links. So if this is n, this is r, so there can be n cross r number of links. Okay, for simplicity I am showing only, let's say there are 3 different links between these two, just for the ease of understanding. And now comes the situation that one of the link goes in the deep fade. Okay, but now since we have multiple links, there are other links apart from this single link which is in deep fade, and so we have alternate links that can be used for the successful transmission. So now the probability that the system goes in the outage or the system completely disrupts is very less, isn't it? Because there are alternative path or link between the for the signal propagation between the transmitter and the receiver. Therefore the communication is not disrupted even when one or more than one links are in deep fade. This is diversity in the system. This is the principle of diversity. This is the principle of diversity. That is, there are alternate links between transmitter and receiver for signal propagation. Therefore, the communication is not disrupted even when one or more links goes in deep fade. This is the principle of diversity which is exploited to overcome the effect of deep fade in the wireless system environment. Alright, so this is the logic why we go for multiple antennas to avoid the deep fade conditions. Alright, now let us analyze this multi-antenna system more in a more detail. Let us study the receive diversity first. Let us consider a wireless system model, a very simple wireless system model, the transmitter and a receiver. There are two, we assume that there are two receiver antennas, okay, and there is a single transmitter antenna which is T1, and these are named as R1 and R2. Okay, so there are two links between the transmitter and the receiver, which are T1 R1 and T1 R2. All right, so there are two links that are T1 R1 and T1 R2. These are the two links between the transmitter and receiver, and these two links arises because of the multiple antennas at the receiver. We use two antennas, R1 and R2, hence we have two links between the transmitter and the receiver. This is an example of antenna diversity. This is an example of antenna diversity, and more specifically receive antenna diversity. This is more specifically receive antenna diversity, because diversity is achieved due to multiple antennas, and that too at the receiver end, hence it is receive antenna diversity, okay, or simply known as receive diversity. We simply call it as receive diversity. Alright, now let us assume that the fading channel coefficient between these two links T1 R1 and T2 R2 are H1 and H2. Since the links are different, so the fading coefficient would also be different, that is H1 and H2. So H1 denotes the fading coefficient of T1 R1 link, and H2 denotes the fading coefficient of T1 R2 link. And let's say that the Y1 and Y2 are the symbol received at antennas R1 and R2. Y1 is symbol received at R1 and Y2 is symbol received at R2. There are two receiving antennas, so two different symbols will be received. That is clear, right? So clearly the system can be modeled as, this particular system can be modeled as Y1 is equal to H1 into X plus N1, and Y2 is equal to H2 into X plus N2. Okay, this is the system equation, we can say. This is the received signal at R1, this is the received signal at antenna R2. H1 is the fading coefficient of the link T1 R1. Okay, and this is the coefficient for link T1 R2. X is the transmitted symbol, and N1 is the AWGN at R1, and this is AWGN at R2, right? We assume that the noise samples, since antennas are spaced such that the different antennas are uncorrelated. We take the assumption that the different antennas are uncorrelated, and the noise samples N1 and N2 are IID Gaussian, independent and identically distributed Gaussian noises, okay, with mean 0 and variance sigma square. Mean 0 means expectation of N1 is equal to expectation of N2 and equal to 0, and variance is sigma square, that is expectation of modulus of N1 square is equal to expectation of modulus of N2 square, and that is equal to sigma square. Okay, and now since they are uncorrelated, both the noises are uncorrelated, so expectation of n1 into n2 is equal to 0. As simple as that. Fine. So these are the system model equations. So we can say that the multiple antenna system model, it can be vectorized as this multiple antenna system model can be vectorized as y1 y2 h1 h2 into x plus n1 n2. This is your received signal vector y, this is your channel vector, that is h, this is your symbol, and this is your noise vector n. So this can be written as equivalent to y is equal to hx plus n, where y is this received signal vector, h is the channel vector, and n is the noise vector. Okay, so this is the compact vector system model representation. Alright, so this is your you can say multi-antenna system equation. So now we have the received vector y in this form. Y is hx plus n. The order of these vectors depends on the number of antennas that we are using in the system, right? So this is how we get the system equation. This is your system equation. Now comes the important step, that is the receive combining, the concept of receive combining. That means at the receiver end we are getting multiple received signals. Like in this case we assumed only two antennas at the receiver, so we are getting two different received symbols which are in the form of y1 and y2, right? So how do we combine those signals to get the decision statistic, right? Because at the end our aim is to detect the received signal to find out the transmitted symbol. Okay, so somehow we need to combine those signals to get the received statistic, right? So now consider let us continue with the same case that we took earlier. So considering two received symbols y1 and y2, all right, these two are combined. We have to somehow combine these two to produce a decision statistic. Let y tilde be that decision statistic. Using this y tilde, we find out the decoded symbol. Alright, so this y tilde is combination of y1 and y2 with some scaling factor, which is known as beam forming vector, right? So this is w1 into y1 plus w2 into y2, or we can say that it is equivalent to w1 w2 y1 y2, right? So this is nothing but your w transpose, and this is your received vector y. Okay, so this y tilde, which is your decision statistic, is equal to w transpose into y, where y is the received vector and w is the receive beam former. So w is the receive beam former, right, which is equivalent to this w1 w2. With the help of this receive beam former, we find out the decision statistic, the significance, and how to decide this beam forming vector. We'll have a look at those concepts in the coming lectures. But as of now, we know that the received statistic is the combination of the received symbols, and the combinations are generated using the received beam former, and the decision statistic y tilde is w transpose into y, where w is the receive beamformer. With the help of receive beamformer, we find out the decision statistic. Okay, we combine the received signals, multiple signals. Alright. So this y tilde is W transpose into Y. If you substitute Y over here, so it is W transpose into HX plus N, where H, this capital H is your channel vector, this capital N is your noise vector, right? So this Y tilde will be equal to W transpose H into X plus W transpose into N. So clearly, if we analyze this Y tilde, it has two components, and this is your signal component and this is your noise component. Clearly, right? It is your signal and this is your noise component. So we can find out the signal to noise ratio using this expression of decision statistic, which is signal power to the noise power. Signal power to noise power. Your signal power would be power of this component, right, which will be modulus of W transpose H square and expectation of X1 square, which is P as we have used it from the starting. The noise power is P, and the noise power will be the component, the power of this noise component in total, which is equivalent to expectation of modulus of W transpose N modulus square, right? If we simplify it a bit, this modulus of W transpose H square to P divided by expectation of W transpose into N square. This is your SNR. This is our signal to noise ratio of the decision statistic Y tilde, right? Because Y tilde is the statistic which is generated using combining the received signals Y1, Y2 and so on, depending on the number of antennas, and using this decision statistic will further find out the detection process. Will analyze the noise power, will differently analyze the noise signal power, and will find out the decision threshold and the detection process. That part will continue in the next video lecture, and that is all for this lecture. Thank you.